Alright, we are going to talk about the G7 Pro, and we are going to compare it to my Apex 4. So, I'm going to first talk about the two issues this controller has. Uh, yeah, anytime you open the app, this controller goes off. Like, that's not the thing I want to talk about, but... So, let me go grab this dime, put it on here to hold the joystick partially pressed. Now, so you see right here that it's about 24.2 and 21.8. I change it to circle mode and it's now changed. You can see it better on this side where that's changing to 0.24. Go to circle 0.238. What this is when you switch to raw mode, it's not actually raw. It's literally just adding a percentage increase to the circle. So it's not actually a true raw mode. But it feels great on that. That's you'll be used to it perfectly fine. A lot of other controllers do that. I just don't like they call it raw mode, where all it's doing is adding a percent increase. It's not actually raw. So stop calling it raw mode. Another issue this controller has is, once again, build quality. So you see right here, I have this bottom button bound to my right stick. So when I press this, it's clicking the right stick. And at certain angles, I can move my hand and it will unpress. So you see, like right there, I never let go of that at all. It just, right there, it unpresses. Now, it's usually around, like, if I press this bottom corner, that's usually the area. Now, this other one, the other side, I don't actually ever have that issue. I can do it in Gamepad Tester sometimes, like at a certain, like right there where I was kind of moving it. Like, you have to intentionally do it. My left side's perfectly fine. That's more because the tolerances inside this and the poor build quality, you get issues like that. But raw performance of this controller, this is actually amazing. This is a very good controller. These sticks are very accurate. They're very high quality TMR. The metal stem and the anti-friction rings are actually really good, that this just slides like butter. No sound of scraping, nothing like that. Much better build quality than the G7 SE that I have, which is kind of junk. I've got it on my floor right now, but the G7 SE is kind of a hunk of shit compared to this. This just like destroys that. This has optical face buttons, which are very responsive, and I believe this actually has the fastest button press out of any controller on the market on Johnny Punch's test. I haven't checked it recently, but last time I checked, it was the fastest. And I don't know if that's still the case, but it's at least in the top if it's not anymore. Even faster than the Apex 4 or Apex 5, because the Apex 5 has mechanicals and they're slower. These sticks feel good. They're much higher tension than the G7 SE was, which was a big problem I had with the G7 SE, which was that there was no, like, they were not good. They were very loose. The tension spring was crap and will wear down over time. This one seems like it's a much better one, but these thumb caps feel great. They're way better quality, but they're not replaceable. So you can see like what they look like. They're very low to the ground. Because they're not replaceable, I say that you should guaranteed like buy something. Do not ever just use these stock. You will wear down this pad right here, and then this will be completely ruined a controller because you can't remove these caps. So you buy some Control Freaks, put those on it, and then you're wearing down the rubber on your Control Freaks and not on the thumb cap. So you can solve that issue there, and like that's just a simple solution. I use Control Freaks anyways, so that does not affect me. This does not actually wiggle really when I try to shake it for the top faceplate, where it did on previous versions. These right here though do actually move when I wiggle them slightly. So the fit and finish on this is clearly lower build quality and lower tolerances than say Microsoft would have or FlyDigi. Like this controller feels a lot more premium, but it's twice the price, and you know that's why. This is my Apex 4. This was my favorite controller until I got this, and I go back and forth, but right now I'm using the G7 just because it has better performance. I really like the Xbox ergonomics, which the Apex and the Vader have, over the G7, which has PlayStation ergonomics, but asymmetrical joysticks. And like that's a preference thing, but I think most people have that preference. I don't know why GameSir doesn't like to do Xbox shape, but maybe they'll do one in the future. And if they do, like I'm gonna probably buy it because that's my biggest problem with this. The other issue I have with this is there's no adjustable tension. And not every controller has it, but the Apex and the Vader series do. And this is going to be a similar price point to the Vader, and the Vader also has Xbox certification. So the Vader 5 is going to be competing with this, and a lot of people aren't going to care that this controller is slightly better performance. They're going to care about the ergonomics and the adjustable tension on the Vader over this. So like I think the Vader 5 is going to outsell this controller. But this controller is probably going to be a good competitor to the Vader 5. Performance, I think it's going to win. Like this, hands down, is the best joystick I've ever used and ever seen on a controller. Very good. And also the optical face buttons. These are very responsive. I can actually feel the difference using these buttons compared to any other controller I've used. They feel so good in Path of Exile. Because especially when I need to dodge an enemy quick, like I never feel like, oh, I pressed it and my controller just didn't register it. It feels nice. I really like this controller. But I have to say, they need to improve their build quality. And they have improved it great compared to the SE. This is great. The only problem is you're comparing it to a top tier controller, because this is a flagship controller. If this was a $50 controller, I would literally not even hold the build quality against them. I'd say, yeah, just hands down buy this. If you're asking for a recommendation to buy, my biggest problem is that this bottom button can sometimes unpress when I hold it at certain angles. And like you see it like kind of wiggle right there, and I never let go. That's really the only physical problem with a controller. I would rate that controller a 9 out of 10. This is a Vader, or this is an Apex 4, not the 5, and I would rate this like, like an 8. I would personally prefer this Xbox shape, but right now, I recommend this controller for $70 until the Vader comes out. And when the Vader comes out, we'll see how good the build quality is on that. Because the Vader's not quite as good build quality as the Apex. But it should be a great controller. And it's going to be nice to see that there's not actually an objective better controller between this and the Vader. It's really going to be preference. And if you compare them to like an Xbox Elite, both of these controllers just destroy that. And they're Xbox certified, so you can use these on an Xbox. You don't need to buy an adapter and risk getting banned. So I think GameSir did a great job with this controller. Like, I have a few gripes with it, but right now, I love this. I'll get a Vader 5 to compare it, more in the future, but I'm going to be using my G7.